So first I'll start off with what IVF is, in vitro fertilization. And basically the whole process comes to the part where they gather the woman's egg and the man's sperm and they bring it together on a little petri dish, fertilize the eggs, and through a process the eggs develop into an embryo. And so from 2017, after we found out that we were unable to have children naturally, it was actually the only option available to us. We didn't have to take any tests to see if there were any other options. March 2017, we knew IVF was available to us. But through the years, we've always just waited and asked the Lord if this was the time. And just seemed like at every season, he either told us to wait or to just stand still.
When it came to IVF, I always knew that, this is something that I could join Chris in, but I couldn't necessarily do for her. So it's her body, and it's sort of one of those things like, hey, because it's like, when she's ready, when she has a desire to do it, then we'll move forward. So it was always just kind of praying and waiting as far as for whenever she was ready. And we went back to New Zealand for our 5-year anniversary, and we had a lot of long discussions about it. And it was just sort of one of those things where she said that she was ready and she was comfortable. I was like, okay, then we will do whatever comes next after we get back.
After we said yes, I received a call in March from my OB, and she had called to report that I had an abnormality in my test, my annual test, and that what she found, if it was already in the late stages, could lead to cancer. And that was a time where I actually asked God a lot of questions, because I felt like he had brought us to this point and all of a sudden we were taking steps backwards. And so I really thank God for the faith that he has developed over the years, because I knew that I had a choice. I knew that I could fall back into depression, or I could develop faith that would see me through. And I chose faith because I knew that whatever we were walking through, whatever season it was, that it was God that was leading us into that season. And so we trusted him. I really thank the Lord for the people he has placed around me who have interceded and prayed on our behalf. And it's really in the darkest times is what kept us strong, are the prayers, because it wasn't easy. And so once we got through that, it was a few months process, and we finally got clearance in the mid of July to move forward with IVF.
We made a very asserted effort to commit every moment, every process, between injections, between medications, between appointments, always committing it to the Lord and having an understanding that, hey, this is your process. It's under your sovereign rule. If this is your will, then we will do it with gladness and we'll do it with joy.
I had a misconception or a misunderstanding that if I chose IVF, then I would be choosing not to trust God, when that was totally the opposite. God is, as long as you make God the center of every situation, he is never removed. I was walking into new territory. I had zero idea of what the side effects would be from the medication. You can only read so much, but how it affects you, you don't know. And every woman's body processes the medications and the different procedures differently. I thank God and I want to give him all the praise and the glory, because I've come through this process with minimal side effects. I think the biggest challenge was just keeping my mind focused on him, but physically, my body, it's like I believe God placed like a covering over my physical body, but I had to remain vigilant and sharp when it came to my spiritual, emotional, and mental health. And that's where I really had to learn how to trust in the Lord through this process.